East and West typically cancel out. NDC would win Tema East by maybe a 4% margin, and NPP will win Tema West by a 4% margin. What tips Tema will be Tema Central, which, because it's much smaller and it's a built-up community of urbanized, more middle classes, generally, and based on the ethnicities, NPP tends to do well. Now, I'm going to Tema Central, and I mean, the kind of things I'm seeing there, Vivian, forgive me, where am I going?
Tema Central. This is where EB Bright.
Oh, forgive me. EB
Bright is.
Yes. Forgive me. It's been a long night. You guys have to forgive me. I'll find Tema Central.
She's been trying to
yes.
the
so
NDC candidate for a bit.
And by the way, we are talking presidential.
That's right.
We are talking presidential. Now, generally, parliamentary candidates are supposed to get better than their presidential candidates. Why? Because parliamentary candidates have just 1 or 2 people to deal with. Presidential have 12 to deal with. So if your presidential is doing better than you, you're not doing well.
Yeah,
okay?
Sleep.
So generally, if you're winning, you should do better than your president. And it's not disrespect. It's basically because you have fewer people to deal with. That's just the law of numbers. I'm getting Tema Central for you, and what we're seeing for the presidential, Vivian, is very interesting indeed. Just give me 2 seconds, I'll get it for you. So I've shown you Tema East. Okay, here's Tema Central.
Okay.
Look at that. Look at what's going on there. The cluster has the president rising to almost 180 from 112. Dr. Baumia's average in Tema Central drops
significantly.
And when you extrapolate that into the national figure, so as the collated results start coming in, just mark the concerns I've mentioned for you. Just write it in your book.
I have them.
So I've given you Amasaman, which we are telling you is going to go
it's going to go green. You've given me an idea of Domi Kwabenya, where the margins will
was
close.
28,000 gap. It will not be anywhere close to 28,000.
Yeah. You've done Trobu.
Trobu, I'll show you Trobu shortly.
Okay.
Tema Central will not, even if MPP wins it, it's going to be very close. It's no longer going to be a safe seat for MPP based on what we are seeing.
Tema East as well.
Tema West, we believe, will go to NDC for president. It's very clear. Tema West, because of the shift. The cluster we chose, the shift is too clear. Now, the point about clustering is that you have different, Dofre can use Dansoman as an example. Ablekuma West, you can have polling stations around Exhibition, Star of the Sea. They are typically of the same behavior. Yeah. When you cross the road to, give me another name.
So if you left, say, main control, and crossed the road and entered Tunga.
Tunga has a different character.
It's a completely different
character. So there's an average behavior of Ablekuma West. So you pick polling stations in Ablekuma West that mirror its behavior. Okay. So it may be between the borderline between Tunga and, say, Last Stop or Control, whatever. Now, if you are losing numbers there, you're losing the constituency. Okay. Although, if for some reason you rally your supporters in, say, Tunga, the last minute, they may come and change that. That's the only thing. So, Vivian, I've said to you that Tema Central President Mahama is going to give Baumia. He's probably going to take it. Let me look for Trobu now, since you've asked. And I use Trobu because of all the Greater Accra constituencies, it gives MPP the biggest gap.
Okay.
30K. Okay. 30K. Okay, so
I'll also hold with that. I want to quickly go to Tema Central now that we're and see what is happening there based on what we also know from this polling station figures we have. Adam Kanye is our man there. Adam, if you can hear me, welcome. I see you flipping your phone. What's the latest at the Coalition Center at Tema Central?
We are putting figures together as we speak. There's a lot of noise from the crowd outside, but apparently they are on the presidential results as we speak. They are tabulating them. They are yet to get to the parliamentary results, so there's not a real picture of what the numbers look like at the moment.
Do you have a picture of the presidential that you say has been done? Any picture from your rounds going round?
When the polling stations have gone round, most of the ones were the NDC. The NDC won a number of the police. I went to about 3 polling stations and the NDC won there. So it's looking like most of the crowd outside are chanting the NDC. So I don't know whether that's where the picture will be, but as of now, there's no real pictures what where the figures or the presidential will take us as of now. They are still tabulating them as we speak.
Okay.
Some incidents happened earlier on, so it kind of slowed down the process here. So they started the tabulation a bit late.
All right. We'll come to you when the picture is clear. Obviously, we can use a jubilation and then 3 polling stations to have what we should have. But we'll come to you in a bit. But stay safe out there as the results are declared. So, Bernard, we'll move to Trobu. We'll come back to Tema Central when they're ready for declaration.
So, the issue with Trobu is in 2020, if my memory serves me right, I could check it for you. MPP's gap was 30K.
Okay.
Right? So it's big and bad for the MPP. I could show you that. Now, this is what we are seeing with Trobu. The cluster is showing a reduction. Vivian, look this up.
Okay.
From 243 average to 154. All right? And the NDC makes a marginal gain from 97 to 108. Now, for presidential election, this is very important. Parliament may still go to MPP, but to close, and by the way, 13 of the 20 largest constituencies in Ghana and Greater Accra.
Yeah.
So if you are dropping by the numbers I am showing you here, Greater Accra gave NDC just a 70K margin in 2020.
Yeah.
They will give them probably over 200K from what we are seeing. Because of the, I mean, look at the, almost all the major strongholds of MPP, I'll show, the average cluster is reducing. And by the way, your polling stations is what you aggregate to get your national. All right? So I've shown you NDC holds its own, but again, you see the turnout problem, right? 243 to 154. And this is the second biggest gap for, in fact, the largest gap for MPP was 30K. I actually want to show it to you to be sure I'm not mistaken. Let me just show you Trobu, because I think it's a very significant number. And keep reminding.
So this 30K you're saying has reduced significantly based on what we're seeing with what we have. That's right.
Yes. Where's Trobu? Just give me a minute. Trobu is.
Would have been a deep blue. Yeah.
Deep blue. Trobu is here. Look at that. 65, 34. 66,648. 34,884. That's 32,000.
Yeah.
That's a gap. All right. Other places that have given interesting gaps for MPP, Domeko Abenya, 78,467, 50,136. So that's how much? 28,000 gap.
Okay.
All those gaps are being whittled away by the lower MPP and the higher NDC. So I think Tema West was one of the ones I mentioned for you. Let's just see what Tema West did in 2020.
Okay. Whilst you are getting Tema West for us on the right, let me go to Tema West actually and speak to our lady there, our cute lady there, Elizabeth Okansi. She is ready to give us some results. Elizabeth, what is happening with Tema West?
All right, so I'm currently at the Tema West constituency, currently at Tema secondary 2 year at the Tema West. And so right now, collation of results has started. And so far, the electoral commission has created about 104 polling stations within the Tema West constituency out of the 283 polling stations that we have in this constituency. But at this time, there are some agitations from parties of outside the coalition to have there is a delay in declaring the results of the coalition results. But so far, the coalition is moving smoothly. But they're saying that as of now, it's slow for them and that they are mounting more pressure on the EC to do it as fast as possible. So I would like to show you what is happening outside the coalition center.
Okay, I'm afraid we've lost Elizabeth, but we'll try to establish contact with Elizabeth. Elizabeth, can you hear me? Okay, well, we're trying to establish contact with Elizabeth.
It's not just the electoral officials who are tired. The internet is also tired.
Everybody. But I think this year, like Godfred was saying, the declarations have kept too long.
Because
I mean,
as of
2
last
o'clock?
election by now,
Yeah.
we knew many.
Yeah.
And the reason, the cluster analysis is very clear. Tema West, from all we've seen with the average polling station cluster, NDC is going to win it for presidential.
Okay.
Look at the gap. It was very close. 51, 47, all right? 47K, 44K, just a 3K gap.
And it was less than, it was roughly 2K for parliamentary as well.
Good. So when I now show you the average cluster drop for Tema West polling station for MPP, and you compare that to the NDC, clearly Mahama is going to win Tema West presidential. He's basically going to whittle MPP's advantage in all its major strongholds and consolidate. And because the region is that big, if Central Region and Western Region follows Greater Accra, I don't see a way back for the MPP.
Right.
Because I've already told you that in 2016, in 2020, MPP won 3 of the 4 swing, the Bono Ahafo, Western and Central. Greater Accra is the only one way to NDC. NDC has opened the Greater Accra based on what we're seeing. If you see, so if Central starts coming and the cluster analysis we've done, something shocked me. Second D, the cluster we chose in Second D, Vivian, in 2020, NPP won that comfortably. This cluster, NDC won it in Second D.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So, and secondly, in fact, when we did the Western region with you, I told you that there were about 8 constituencies that it was unheard of.
Yeah.
Kwesi Mintim, Sekondi, Efia, Mpoho, then you have Takrade itself. It was, and then Ahanta West. Almost no go for NDC. NDC starts, NDC will probably win Shama in those days, and then it will go around the, what do you call it, the Wasa Memphis. Now you're seeing clusters in Second D that NDC is winning. I've never seen such a thing in my life.
Yeah.
And these are deep blue, turning green. All right. So if we start getting more of the Western region clusters, we'll be in a better position. But Greater Accra, I can definitely say to you that it's going to be a massive.
Okay, let's look at the strongholds of the party. That's the NDC in the Greater Accra region.
All right.
And let's see the level of consolidation.
Okay. So
with the
let's take Odododio. Okay, where's Odododio? Forgive me. No, I think I even have. Okay, Odododio. Where's Odododio? I'll find it for you. Okay. Forgive me. Let me do it from here.
The technology is tied like
it's 2 a.m. So it's 2 a.m. So man is.
Technology was hoping that by now.
We'll have something to work with.
Right.
Nilante Van der Poel, 55, so 10% gap.
Yeah.
42K, 33K, so almost like a 10K gap. All right. This is going to go bigger. It's going to go bigger based on the summary cluster we did for you. It's going to go bigger.
Right.
It's going to go bigger. So the thing about NDC is that there are coastal constituencies like Odododio, Krowo, Lejokuku. They have their 10K, their 12K gaps. Madina follows the same. Adenta follows the same. Ningo Prampram and Punkatamanso are the real big boys. Yeah. Ningo Prampram will give like sometimes a 49K gap.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So if Ningo Prampram follows the trend we are seeing, then they will probably become the biggest for the NDC now because they, of course, and Ashaiman. So it's Ningo Prampram, Ashaiman, Kunkatamanso are NDC's big 3 in Greater Accra. Ningo Prampram, Kunkatamanso, and Ashaiman are NDC's big 3 years.
Can I interest you in showing us Lejokuku?
Thank you. So Lejokuku,
because it's a constituency that keeps moving around a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lejokuku.
Lejokuku presidential.
Give me a minute.
Based on what he said, we know.
So Lejokuku has been 8% gap, 59K, 50K, so 9K.
Yeah.
What happened though was that Okoboy was very close to Ayiku.
He did really well in Parliament.
Yeah.
Right? So the expectation was that, from what Philip Latte has been saying from all his work in Lejokuku, he didn't see Mahama losing Lejokuku. No. The only question was whether Okoboy could make a comeback
that's right.
or not. Now, the challenge with Okoboy is that there are places to expect him to win. Okay, because he's more visible.
Yeah.
He's a health minister. He's a doctor. He's at Ablekuma Hospital.
Yeah.
So there are parts of Teshi who know him. But Aiku is also known.
Yeah.
But for some reason, he's been a bit. He sort of. I think when I spoke to Ashimo, they noticed that Okoboy was making inroads. So when I did the Greater Accra Regional Focus, Ashimo said they actually rallied to solve what they call the Okoboy problem for them. So I think 3 months ago, you could have said Okoboy was probably much closer to Ayiku. But from what we're seeing from the cluster analysis, he's in big trouble there.
Okay. I'll also hold on a bit for me. Let me go to Central Region, which we'll look at in a bit in terms of where it's going. I have Abeku, a man at Cape Coast South. You tell us what is happening with regards to the figures over there. Abeku, welcome.
Well, thank you, Vivian.
What's it looking like in Cape Coast South?
Well, we are still here at the Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly, and at the conference hall is where the coalition is going on currently for the presidential results. So nothing too strange on grounds. The place have been very calm so far, with a few party folks, seated around, and of course security is also, on point. As you can see in your shot, there's a police vehicle right there. The people were here in their numbers initially, trying to wait and see if the declaration will be done in time. But, if you look at, right at the gate, in front of the gate before you enter the hall, people are still waiting, a few of them waiting to see what the situation would be. So here it has been calm, and of course the coalition is ongoing here at Cape Coast South, the coalition center, and we are yet to know what the details will be, even before we get to counting the parliamentary result and what have you. But the people were in a jubilant mood for the National Democratic Congress. The party members, as well as some few party executives, were in a jubilant mood. They already believe that it's going Rickett Hagan's way, and of course, they've been waiting for some time now here at the Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly.
The Central Region, what's it looking like? Do you have a sense of how it's going for the region based on the number of reporters you have dotted across that region and what they fed you with in terms of figures?
For Cape Coast, great. So for Cape Coast North, for example, I'm told by our rep there that, of course, there have been a bit of celebration, then again, from Raga, the locals call him, and that's Dr. Mintanyako. He's also on the ticket of the NDC. They believe that per the numbers that's been seen from various polling stations, it's indicative that he's also, upping his numbers there, and a potential win, will go his way. Indeed, Raga himself was at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium with some few supporters jubilating and dancing. We do not know what that meant, but from what they claim they know, victory is going a Raga's way. And also for KEA, also, from results we've been gathering from polling centers, it indicates that it's also going, the NDC candidates way, that's Samuel Atameos' way. So in the Central Region at large, it seemed that the representatives for the NDC and for what they know the count is for them from the various polling centers, they are quite optimistic that it might just go their way, Vivian.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Beku. We'll come to you when the results are confirmed and declared by the EC, but thank you very much. Stay safe out there. So that's a man in the Central Region, specifically now at Cape Coast South. In a bit, we'll go back to the Central Region and look at other results trickling. But we have Bernard Avle, who is taking us through the Greater Accra Region. From what we know, the Election Bureau, we can confirm in terms of the presidential race, former President John Mahama has it. The Greens have the Greater Accra Region.
He's expanded. He will take his gap in the region close to 60%.
All right.
From 50, he will move almost 8 percentage points up. Look at Krowo. Krowo is next to Lejokuku. That's what we call Nungwa.
Yeah.
Generally, you've had 55%, Mahama Akufo-Addo 46%. The numbers 39K, 34K, so almost 4,300. Okay. Now the NDC cluster has reduced from 192 to 172 turnout issues. But look at MPP cluster, 137 has come down to 87. Vivian.
Yeah.
87.
Yeah.
What is that telling you? It's telling you that MPP, grow-up people, they are not happy. NDC, a few people have not voted, but clearly they are okay. All right. So by what I'm trying to say is that these 4,000, 5,000 gaps in Greater Accra are going to be in the tens.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, because the region has 3.7 million registered voters, you spend almost a week doing Greater Accra, and I kept telling you that the region is large, and that if some of these people don't turn up, all right, what I'm seeing so far is that the swing regions are swinging massively. So even if strongholds behave the way they behave, right, Volta, Upper East, Upper West, Ashanti, Eastern, we've done swing region analysis, and I said to you that MPP won 3 of the 4. But NDC's 70,000 in Greater Accra didn't amount to much.
Yeah.
Because MPP will get 1.1 million, NDC gets 650K. But a region of this size, if you take these 10,000, 10,000, 10,000s, you are in the hundreds of thousands.
Okay.
All right. So Crow is definitely going. Of course, it's green already.
Yeah.
It's going to get deeper green.
Deeper. Okay, let's stay with the coastline.
Yes, well,
you've done a bit of we've done Crow. Dade Kotopon, we saw the,
Okay, let me.
We know that's a green, but let's see the inroads they've made.
Give me a minute. Dade Kotopon, that's La, right?
Yes, La
Okay.
Dade Kotopon.
I think now they
typically a
use
green, but let's see the gains that we'll see from the NDC.
Just to be sure, I have Dade Kotopon. Don't forget, I have 23.
Okay.
I don't have my Dade Kotopon updated.
Let's go to Koliklote. I'm interested in Koliklote if you have it, because
Yes, I
this
do.
is a constituency I vote in. Today, the levels of turnout was bad. I mean, we monitored the constituency the whole day, and it didn't improve. Do you have that? And if you have that, what's the level?
What I've seen is that both have dropped.
Okay.
Both have dropped, but I need to go and check for
Okay,
you.
please feel free and move over.
Both
Once
have-
you're
both have
moving
dropped.
over, I'll pick.
It's your hometown.
No, I actually have 5 constituencies that I can play. I can dance
She
around.
can dance
Oh,
around.
really?
Krowo, Lejokuku, Dade Kotopon, Koliklote, and Okankwe.
But where's
I'm a big girl.
But where's your home?
My home is
She can't
Dade
reveal-
Kotopon.
she can't reveal where her
My
home
house,
Oh, why?
my
Security
house
reasons.
is-
Where's your family house?
Security reasons.
Vivian, where's your family house?
This is my security
Analyst.
told me not to declare, to hold. so I come from La, so La Dade Kotopon.
Yeah, sure. That's what we
is
wanted.
my,
I didn't say you should
then-
mention the
I don't
specific
have.
Yeah.
I don't have Koliklote updated.
Okay.
I don't have
That-
Koliklote
that-
updated.
that's
What I have is
So take us through what you have, then we claim.
I have Ada, which
Adan.
is
Let's see.
I have
Adan.
Ada, which is one of the NDC strongholds already.
Yeah.
Let me see how they're doing there in Ada. Forgive me. So Ada has always been an NDC place, but just to see how well they did. I have Adenta as well. So Ada, look at that. Lower numbers average, but look at MPP. 125, 44, 341, 185.
Yeah.
Then
And the reason why-
No, sorry, forgive me. I've chosen Quantano. Forgive me. I made a mistake. Let me not give somebody a heart attack. Let me not give somebody a heart attack. Forgive me. Let me get Ada proper for you. Ada. How did I go and choose in Quanta? Oh Lord.
There it is.
Yes. So this is what's happening. And MPP hasn't done anything there.
Okay.
So you see my point. There's a general lower turnout in the election,
Yeah.
but it does not affect the NDC that much. This one is quite a drop, maybe 219 to 185. But look at this, 40, 40, 45. I wanted to show you Adenta.
Yeah.
I wanted to show you Adenta.
Adenta
is key.
Yeah, very key. Swing goes.
Adenta, from what I see, is green for president, definitely. For the president, definitely is green, as in presidential. For
In the last election, it was green.
yeah. So look at Adenta. 200 to 184, turn out a bit. 180, 89. It's not even close. So it's the MPP is just.
But that's a massive dip, though.
Yes.
On considering the push we had seen. In
What
that
I would say
constituency.
about Adenta is that there are some constituencies where the average cluster or the representative cluster is not necessary because, so for example, you have Zoom Lion is Adenta.
Yes.
Parts of Ajiringano is Adenta. Then there's also Adenta but housing down. All right. It's a very mixed bag. So, but what we are seeing is for president, we don't expect. We don't expect there's going to be a bigger gap for the president. Let me check how much the president did or presidential did for Adenta.
For Adenta in the last election, 53% to 45%. Yeah. In terms of actual votes, it was 60,549 to 52,000.
So 8,000.
55.
It's going to be bigger. 8. Medina is going to follow the same route. Medina and Adenta are very similar. To be fair, from what Trobu and Dome is what Medina and Adenta are. Mm-hmm. If you live in Ofanko or Pokwasi, just cross the road. Adenta, if you go to Adenta SDA Junction, on the right you're in Adenta, on the left you're in Medina. So most Medina people walk to Adenta, and their voting behavior is the same, generally speaking. And the gap Medina gives typically is a bit higher than the gap Adenta gives to the NDC. So if Adenta is going to grow based on what we've seen, Medina is going to give a bigger gap. And these are in the teens. Yeah. The teens of thousands, Vivian. So there you have it. The Greater Accra region swing for the NDC presidency is going to be one of the stories of this election. Mm-hmm. The clustering we've seen in Western and Central seems to suggest from your Cape Coast interview as well. So, and BA. Yeah. I mean, we've seen a few, all right? We don't have enough to say, but it seems to me as though I don't think MPP presidential, they will survive any swing region. Okay. I don't think they'll survive any swing region from what we're seeing. All right.
We're waiting for you to bring us more regions, Central region,
Lord.
and all those.
We have a few others, but I just wanted to wrap up Greater Accra. I have Ablekuma West.
Okay.
Which is where Godfred lives. So I just want to show Ablekuma West so that
and yes, you show Ablekuma West, and I'll support. I'll support you a bit on this.
Ablekuma West, I need to go and show you what I saw.
So
but
Godfred,
Ablekuma West will not be. I won't be surprised if Mahama takes Ablekuma West for the first time. Don't forget, Ablekuma West was one constituency, South and West together. Teresa Tego's time. Chenche takes South. Esla takes the West. It's not looking the same. Let me find it for you based on what we've seen in Ablekuma West. So Ablekuma West is there, Adenta is off. Look at that. So NDC has basically held 228, 227 average. Look at MPP, 236. Now you should, I don't live there, but this is a problem for me. Basically what NDC has done is that their performance in the polling stations is the same.
Yes.
MPP is, something is happening to them in Ablekuma West. 236 to 184 is a problem.
And
you know the area.
Yes, and that's supported by some of the confirmed polling station numbers. So for those of us, and this is my part of town, so the Datus area, so far as I'm concerned, has not been won by the NDC in a very long time. So that's the Datus Complex School polling station area. So today, for instance, if you look at the Datus School, Datus 1A was won by the NPP for the parliamentary and the presidential. But Datus 1B, Datus 2A, Datus 2B, Datus Dansuman 3, Datus Dansuman 4, all went to.
Wow, and that's not.
And that's the first
3 of the 4.
Wow.
Yes, went to the NDC.
Vivian, something else. Okainkwe. So in Accra, there are 4 names: the Okainkwe brothers, the Ablekuma brothers, and the Ayawaso sisters. Now the Ablekuma brothers, typically, Ablekuma North is MPP. Ablekuma Central is where the fight is, right? Then there's Ablekuma South. Am I mistaken?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have